explanation was, he went to see the king. That's all I got from it. He went to see the king. Wait, did I just get a snort? Was that a snort I just got? That's awesome. I got a snort. That is awesome. It's a little weird. There's more oxygen on this part of the room. That's all the oxygen in. That's awesome. It's like a reward for a comedian when you get a snort. That's a reward. Or a beverage spit up. It's cool too. What was I talking about? My teachers used to try to tell me that I had ADD, which stands for attention deficit. That's a nice shirt you got on, dude. I'm not going to explain the jokes. So the pastor would get up on stage and he would explain, right? And it's a dead body and I don't understand what's going on. He's screaming and yelling and all that stuff. And then, right, then they would call the kids choir to sing. I was in the kids choir. Remember, the whole explanation that I got was he went to see the king. That's all he said. Now the kids choir to sing. I'm in the kids choir, not because I can sing. I was in the kids choir because I'm a kid. It's the only requirement. And what song we got to sing? This is the song we had to sing. Soon and very soon, we are going to see the king. I don't want to see the king. I don't want to see the king. That's what happened to the man in the box. This stuff was miserable. And on top of that, growing up, we were poor. We weren't even poor, we were po. We couldn't afford the other letters, man. We had no money. I was actually being sponsored by a family from Haiti. That's a funny joke, right? Some Christians don't know what to do. You can't laugh and shake your head. We didn't have no money, man. When you don't have no money, your creativity excels. Like you mad creative when you don't got no money. I remember I was 10 years old, I wanted an action figure so bad. I just wanted an action figure. I turned 10, on my birthday, my dad hands me a box. I opened it up, it was empty. He said, "It's Invisible Man." I was like, that is awesome. I played with that thing for like 3 weeks, man. Till my brother hid it from me. Some of y'all confused right now. We had no money. Like we couldn't afford stuff. Like we didn't have allergies. I remember being over at a friend's house and discovering what allergies were. We're sitting down at the table. His dad made dinner. And his dad sets a plate in front of us, and he goes like this. I'm not eating that. And I automatically ducked. Because in my house, you tell my dad you ain't gonna do something, you about to get hit upside the head. My parents would whoop me too. And when your parents whoop you, why they gotta talk to you? And they chop the words up into little syllables. Don't you ever. Sometimes my uncle would whoop us. You don't want that though, because he stuttered. He was like a din 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 din. Hey man, you got to write me a note. So I'm sitting there, right, and I lost track of where I was at. Where was I? Nah, because I thought about the whooping and the stutter and stuff. Oh, allergies, like we couldn't afford them. So my friend says, I'm not going to eat that. His dad says, oh, it's okay, I forgot, you have allergies. And I was like, what are these allergies? And how can I get some? So like 3 days later, I'm at home, my parents made some food, green beans was on the plate. And my friend had explained to me, an allergy is when you have a bad reaction to something, where there's some swelling or maybe some watery eyes. So I was like, man, 3 days later, the green beans are right there. I ate all the rest of the food, I got to the green beans, I was like, Dad, I'm not gonna eat this. Let me just say, there was a bad reaction. There was some swelling, and my eyes were watering. We used to play one game, it was called Talk About You. That was a game we talk about. We just sit around and talk about each other all day. They talk about me, Michael Jr., you got some big feet. Then I'll talk about my friends and be like, oh yeah, you so dark skinned. I bet if you ride a motorcycle, you get a ticket for tinted windows.
Videoing.
Joke is funnier if you have black friends. We had one game, we had the game Operation. Remember that game Operation? We had no batteries. Then my cousin came over, right? He figured out a way how to plug it into the wall, right? It's a whole nother game now. Operation Roulette is what we call it. Played one time, we played one time. I was like, it's not my turn, I ain't going. We're shaking. So that's what I do with my comedy. I sit back and I watch people, I pay attention to people. I always look at people really, really closely. Oh, I feel a snort coming on. She's awesome, she's all cute. She got dimples, I love dimples on women, I think that's cute. Only in the front, only in the front. This is hilarious, it's one of my favorite jokes, only in the front, only in the front. That's awesome, yeah, put a bunch of garbage behind me, that's awesome. Yeah, comedian Michael Jr., garbage. Rubbish, that is awesome, I don't know what that is, it's cool, I like how you got the garbage, then I'm up on the screen. That was weird, I didn't notice that before I got hit the gym. So we're gonna have some fun, it's gonna be mad cool. What else I want to oh, growing up, I'm gonna tell you about school. In school, I was very creative and I would talk about people, we would just have fun, right? And then one time in school, like I'm different. I think different than most people. I probably think different than everybody, technically. Because I'm different. Let me explain. I actually remember thinking for the first time. Let me explain. Do you ever, everybody's had thoughts before, but do you remember at some point in your life saying to yourself, wow, I'm thinking. I had that thought, and I remember I was in the 4th grade, right? Let me explain. I'm in the 4th grade, Miss Foster's class, and Miss Foster was, she's kind of swollen, right? She's kind of swollen. She's got another snort, just got another snort. Swollen. So Miss Foster was kind of swollen, and she was on the chalkboard, she was writing on the chalkboard, right? And because she was kind of swollen, she was also erasing while she was writing. And when I noticed this, I said, wow, Miss Foster is really big. And I knew I was going to get kicked out of school, but I didn't get kicked out. You know why? Because I didn't say it. I was thinking it. It was awesome. I went around school thinking about everybody. I know that's not that impressive to some of y'all because I've been thinking my whole life. Well, me too, but you just don't remember when it happened. Gatlinburg is so cool, man. It's almost like Vegas a little bit. It's like, what happens in Gatlinburg, nobody cares about. That's what the slogan is. That's the slogan. That's the slogan. I just made that up. That was a joke for me. That was for me. So another part about school that I started to share with people, now I didn't even have the courage to share it before, but now I'll share. When I was in school, in grade school especially, I had a really hard time reading. But let me say it like this, I couldn't read. That's a little more honest, I want to be extra honest since there's some Bibles and stuff in here. I don't want to be shoveling no garbage, you know. It's garbage right behind me. Oh, listen, I gotta tell you guys something before I tell you this last story. I'm gonna show you this really cool video. Tonight, we're having a contest, and the winner well, Michael Jr. is having a contest, not everybody having a contest. What you're gonna do tonight is you wanna go to my Facebook page, and you wanna put on my Facebook page, I saw Michael Jr. at 6:30, and he was, say whatever you wanna say, right? And then we're gonna enter your name into a drawing, and then tomorrow we're gonna draw it. Whoever names we pull gets all of my stuff for free. Wait. You don't get all the stuff. You get one of each item. I got a children's book, and I got a CD, and I got I don't know, I got some stuff over there. And I'll steal some of the other people's stuff too and put it in a package too. Because the band, they never pay attention. So go to my Facebook page, Michael Jr. fan page. So this is the cool part right here, check it. When I was a kid, it was really, really hard for me to read. Like well, that's not cool. But, so what I did was I came up with a way to figure out what words were. If I saw a word and I didn't know what the word was, I came up with 7 different ways to figure out what the word actually was. So if you see a word and you read it, you're gone, you're done, you're on to the next word. I saw a word and I would look at the font size, the color of the word, how people responded to the word. I would do all these things to figure out what it was. Now, in high school, it was still really hard for me to read, but I was able to adapt that same ability to situations. So if you see a situation one way, I would see the same situation 7 different ways almost immediately. Like even today, I'll see something, you see it one way, and then bang, I see 7 different possibilities. So let's review. What the devil meant for bad in the form of low self-esteem as a child because I couldn't read, God has turned into good because that is exactly where I pull my comedy from. Like I look at things way different. Like one thing I look at different, I was reading the Bible, found out Jesus had a little brother. Anybody know his name? James. When I read that, first thing I was thinking was, man, how much pressure was that? Jesus, your big brother? How many times do you have to hear, why come you can't be more like Jesus, James? Because you know, everybody probably thought that James could do the same thing Jesus could do, but he couldn't. He was just James. He wasn't James Christ. Remember the wedding banquet? Jesus turned water into wine. Everybody was amazed. But they don't tell you about the next banquet. Jesus left early, they started running out of wine. Everybody looked at James. Hey man, last time this happened, your brother made some wine, dude. You gonna make some Kool-Aid or something? You're not gonna... And you know how little brothers are, they follow their big brother everywhere. So I'm sure everywhere Jesus went, James followed him. If Jesus went there, so did James. I bet one time, James almost drowned. Jesus walked on water. James tried to put Jesus. You know, James had problems just like any other kid had problems. And he would go to his parents with his problems. So you know what his parents probably said? They'd look at him and be like, well, what would Jesus do? Then they gave him a bracelet. He started selling those bracelets. You know what'd be cool is a what would James do bracelet. Same initials, different meaning. You driving down the street, you get cut off in traffic, you fuss them out, your passenger gonna be like, oh, you got a what would Jesus do bracelet on? Like, that's what would James do. James is different. You know, once in a while, their mom would throw James a bone, make him feel good, right? They'd be praying over their meal, be like, man, I gotta encourage James. What can I do to encourage him? And pray over the food. She'd be like, God, we thank you for this food. We ask you to bless it. We thank you that it's nourishing to our body. In James' name. Then they all got sick. And Jesus healed them. So we're in the same situation all over again. So another way I look at things differently is, here's an example of how I look at things differently. There's some smartphones out there. There's a smartphone out called, you know what I saw today, which was, there's a smartphone out called the BlackBerry. You guys see the BlackBerry? Yeah, we got really excited about that. Ooh, I love berries. There's a smartphone out called the BlackBerry. And one day I was looking at a BlackBerry, and like I look at a lot of things, I instantly looked at it 7 different ways. And I started thinking, what else could a BlackBerry be? So I'm looking at it, and I'm like, it could be a phone, which it is. It could be a berry, which is true as well. Or it could be something other. Well, here's a glance at how Michael Jr., just one of the other ways Michael Jr. looks at BlackBerry and a lot of other things. Check the video of Michael Jr. I love you. We're about to have an amazing time. Wait till